Next on Worcester News Tonight, the candidates for Worcester's City Councilor-at-Large race take to the stage for a debate at Mechanics Hall ahead of the election. Plus, a local high school students are recognized for their efforts to create awareness on safe driving. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Cam Jandro. The clock is ticking down to the November 5th election. Monday, all 13 of the city's at-large city council candidates took part in a debate. 5 incumbents are looking to keep their seats. Current councilor Constantina Lukes announced she would not be seeking re-election earlier this year. 8 challengers bring a wide range of experience. Former District 1 councilor Tony Economou is looking for his first term at large. Donna Calorio spent time on the school committee before her campaign this year. And the others are all seeking their first term in public office.
That if you want to help people in greater numbers, you should become an elected official.
And I look forward to helping your children, your grandchildren, and the future of Worcester.
I've listened to thousands of residents, and they are very concerned about the residential tax rate.
My ambitions for running for City Council actually date back to junior year at Burnco High School.
Everybody in this room is affected by our parks. That's quality of life. Everybody in this room is affected by our schools.
The city will look at things and look at our community and include every one of us.
I care deeply about my community because I want all children to grow up in a thriving city.
Are we making sure our budget and our monies are designated to help everyone rise?
We all want the same thing: safe streets, clean neighborhoods, and a good public education system.
Things are going better now than I've ever seen. I've seen good times in Worcester. I've seen more challenging times in Worcester.
I saw a lot of the disparities amongst the schools from all the sides.
Worcester's a growing, thriving city. I believe it needs to continue to grow.
And I've spent the past 30 plus years dedicating my life to supporting our youth and education.
Candidates also stressed the importance of voter turnout, which was a little more than 8% in September. They say they want to see as many people at the polls as possible. Catholic Charities Worcester County cuts the ribbon on their new homeless prevention center Monday. The Caroline Street facility can host up to 17 families facing homelessness, 5 more than their previous building. The shelter is being dedicated to Mother Teresa, or Saint Teresa of Calcutta, who stayed in the building during her visit to Worcester 43 years ago. The project was subcontracted by the Central Mass Housing Alliance. The nonprofit says families with children make up more than 60% of the homeless population, and the new prevention center in Worcester County can help.
The beauty of this building and the multitude of classes, trainings, and assistance we will provide will restore dignity to our guests on their road to self-sufficiency and brighter days ahead.
We want to provide a place where moms and dads can walk into and let their babies know that they will be safe. A place where they can walk into with their heads held high and with dignity.
The center will also provide professional and personal help, like financial literacy classes and academic resources for kids. The last living veteran on the Colored Citizens of Worcester Honor Roll has passed away. Waverly Taylor was 95 years old. His family confirming his passing on Facebook, saying, "Last night, heaven gained another angel. Our father Waverly passed away, peacefully surrounded by his family. He was the most amazing man we have ever known." Taylor's name is one of 145 names on the Honor Roll, which was rededicated in the city in December of 2017. Congressman Jim McGovern announces the House Rules Committee will begin work on a resolution to ensure transparency in the impeachment inquiry into the conduct of President Donald Trump. McGovern will introduce the resolution Tuesday and will be marked up in the Rules Committee on Wednesday. In a statement, Congressman McGovern says this is a solemn time for our country. With our existing authority under the Constitution and the rules of the House, Congress has been investigating serious allegations involving President Trump and Ukraine. There is mounting evidence that the president abused his power and betrayed our national security while compromising the integrity of America's elections. The House of Representatives may soon vote to officially recognize the Armenian genocide. Worcester Congressman Jim McGovern is leading the way. The issue looks at whether the U.S. should recognize what happened to the Armenians from 1915 to 1923 as a genocide. More than 1.5 million Armenians were killed. One Nichols professor says Congress has considered a similar resolution before, only to pull back under pressure from Turkey.
I think to have a vote that confirms Turkey's role in this historical moment as committing a genocide, I think that's particularly important in this moment in time when we're having this conflict in northern Syria with Turkey.
The Turkish embassy warned in a statement this week against any attempt by the House to pass judgment on the events of 1915. Worcester's Beer Garden is adding more security. The move comes after a fight broke out early Saturday morning. Police say some of the people involved assaulted their officers and are now facing charges. Our Chandler Walsh has more.
Chaos in downtown Worcester. Cell phone video captures altercations with Worcester police outside of the beer garden. The department says several officers were kicked, punched, bitten, and shoved. Mallory Keogh lives nearby and was stunned by what she saw.
When we looked out the window, all we saw was like a swarm of 30 policemen plus with a lot of drunk people wandering in the streets, a lot of cars parked that couldn't move.
Watching the cell phone video for a closer view, Keogh says it matches what she saw. She and others in the area say this is the only time something like this has happened.
The noise goes on, but that's normal bar stuff, but I've never seen anything or heard anything from any of the bars on that strip.
Never seen any violence there at all. It's always usually a very good crowd.
The woman who took the video says she wanted to show both sides. Others like Aviana Lugo agree, saying actions from all parties were excessive.
Too much. I understand getting slammed is not nice, but biting isn't either.
The beer garden says they decided to close early after a fight broke out inside. This commotion then began outside while they were closing. They say in a statement, this was an isolated incident which does not reflect the behavior of our regular beer garden guests who come to socialize responsibly. Worcester police arrested 6 people. Most are facing charges of assault and battery on an officer.
It's disappointing. The area is really cleaning up lately, but with something like that is, it's not a good look for the city.
The beer garden says they were not at maximum occupancy and had police detail and security at the time. 6 people will be arraigned tomorrow on multiple charges, including resisting arrest and assault and battery on an officer. In Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
The Worcester County District Attorney's Child Advocacy Center receives national reaccreditation from the National Children's Alliance. The CAC works with young victims and witnesses of sexual abuse. It allows the victims to talk about their trauma in a comfortable environment. DA Joe Early Jr. says it can be difficult for a young person to talk about what happened to them. With the CAC, the child only has to tell the story once.
The people who do this work every day, they're doing God's work. They really make it easier for families in what obviously is going to be one of the toughest situations they'll ever face in their lives.
The forensic interviewers wear an earpiece, and in their ear, sometimes the prosecutors will be asking them questions, just so that we can ensure that the child is asked every single question necessary to maintain the elements of a crime, if there is one. And so that makes sure that we, the police officers, DCF, have all of our questions answered at the same time.
In just the past year, the CIC has interviewed more than 350 victims and witnesses between the ages of 4 and 18. Weeks after the restaurant had its liquor license seized, there are signs the Bull Mansion in Worcester is closing, but it's unclear when it will officially happen. In mid-September, the state's Department of Revenue seized the restaurant's liquor license for failure to pay almost $60,000 in meal taxes. A notice on the restaurant's front door on Pearl Street and the business's voicemail message say the Bull Mansion has ceased operations. However, owner Victoria Mariano tells Worcester News Tonight the restaurant will still host 3 or 4 events in the coming weeks which don't require liquor sales. Northbridge High School students win first place in a statewide contest. The students took home the grand prize for their work in a safe driving video contest. Our Valerie Bell spoke with the students today.
Dude, get off your phone. Patrick, I'm just changing a song. Relax.
No, watch out!
Deborah Herbert's broadcast production class put a lot of work into sending an important message.
1 in 4 deaths in motor vehicle accident involve people either walking or biking.
And the Northbridge High School students made the grade, winning the grand prize in the MASSDOT Safe Driving Video Contest.
On top of it, you go to their annual conference, and to have a bunch of teenagers walk into a room of about 750 adults is a little intimidating, but it was quite the experience for them.
The theme for this year's contest was Scan the Street for Wheels and Feet.
We wanted to make a video kind of showing drivers not to be distracted on the road, always be scanning both ways.
Because distracted driving is one of the leading causes of car accidents,
The students chose to highlight putting down your cell phone before getting behind the wheel.
Dude, get off your phone. I'm just changing the song, hold on.
They titled their 60-second PSA, Don't Choose a Song Over a Life, because they said it's something teens can relate to.
A lot of teens can relate to going on their phone when driving, even though you shouldn't, whether it's texting, changing a song.
Each of the 10 students with a specific role.
I wrote the script for it. I directed it, I filmed it, I edited it. But I was the guy driving the car. I was the one that was distracted.
People. Oh my God! No, watch out!
It felt kind of weird being in that role, just knowing that just looking down at my phone for a split second can change so many others' lives.
2 years ago, Northbridge students won 3rd place in the statewide contest. So this year's students were excited to earn the top prize.
We were all kind of shocked. We were all high-fiving. To be recognized statewide, it was definitely an honor for it.
In Northbridge, Valerie Bell, Worcester News Tonight.